All right, tonight I'm talking about manipulation and manipulative people and how they work and how they go about doing those terrible things that they do. Um, because as much as it's like, I don't think a tool that you should ever use to be successful, some people use it. The way that I am talking about it, though, is in a very negative light, and how manipulative people can really tear you down and stop you from being successful and getting to where you want to be. Oftentimes, when we come across these kind of people in our lives, it takes quite some time for us to realize what their scheme is and what they're going after. And sometimes they don't really even realize it too. But it does happen. I know that I have had bad experience just because I have such a negative tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt. And then usually when I do, it goes on and on for a while. And then I don't know, I always assume that people will come back around. And as I'm slowly learning, there are some people that won't. And it doesn't mean that they are bad people. It never does. I believe that everybody is different for a reason. We all go about doing things differently, and that's fine. It's acceptable. It is what it is. But you need to make sure that you can pick it out right away and distance yourself from those people that want to cause you harm, whether it be like they're directly doing it and they know they are, they're indirectly doing it and they don't even realize the actions that they're doing. In my experience, I've found that when I am around manipulative people, sometimes it can be hard to convey myself and who I am and get my point across because there's no way in getting through to them. They just tear you down and they suck the life out of you and they make you act in a way that isn't you because you don't know how else to act. And if you are a good person and you do go about things in the right way and try and maintain the relationships that you share with people, you will struggle because when you come across these people, you try very hard to find a positive solution or create a positive outcome. And a negative outcome will come from it, and you will still try and get a positive outcome. But it can be sometimes become so stressful to reach that outcome, and because sorry, I'm just stumbling on words right now because I got a lot on my head, or in my head. There I go again. But it can be hard to reach that outcome because you will think that you're getting there and you just won't get there. And then when you get upset because you haven't gotten there, people will then turn it around on you like it's your fault. And usually it's not anybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. It's not anybody's fault single-handedly. Everybody has a part in what they're doing. Some people just won't take credit for it. Some people will pretend to take credit for it, but they will always assume that you're the worst person because they think they're better than everybody else. It can be hard. There's a lot of different people out there. Most of them don't realize that they do what they do, but they do it. Manipulation is just such a sad thing, especially like with my experience. I really have a hard time like thinking that people are as bad as they seem, but sometimes people are. People are just bad people that will go and always do bad things. And they will always assume that they're better than you and think that their actions are just fine. And when you try and call them out on it or when you try and help them, you are suddenly the enemy. And you need to make sure that you realize these are just not the kind of people you need in your life. You need to get as far away from these people as possible, whether they're really important to you or whether you just met them. These people will stop you from being successful. They will always tell you that you're not capable of it. And if you're basing your life at all around someone who's very manipulative, you will never escape their grasp, that holds you back from being successful. You will always live in their shadow. And you just can't afford to do that. Your life is too valuable. All our lives are too valuable. You have to focus on yourself a lot. Your priorities are always more important than anybody else's because it's your life and you only get to live it one time. So get rid of those people that make you feel like you're worthless or that you're something you're not just because they are a certain way. They're just not worth it. You're worth so much more. It's a lesson that I've taken a while to learn, but the more mature I become, and the more experience I have with it, the more I realize I'm better. I'm better than those situations, and I'm better than those people that would ever try and tear me down. And I don't need those people to tell me that I'm good enough. I just need myself to tell me I'm good enough, because I am. And you're good enough too. I have faith in you, and I know that you can succeed. So everybody have a good night, and keep your head up.